First off, let me say welcome to the Great Hall of City College. You are in the sacred center of this campus, and it is a physical and architectural embodiment of the ambitions that we as a campus and we as a university have had for our students for 175 years. 175 years exactly last Saturday. One of the things that I've learned, particularly since coming into this position and talking a little more frequently than maybe I had in the past to our facilities people and our grounds people, is they've shown me around this building. And one of the things you see in some of the quiet places you wouldn't necessarily pass by if you were going to class, the alcoves downstairs or the wing of a hallway upstairs, is in various places there are either plaques or chiseled into the marble. There are remembrances of members of the City College community who have died in various ways. Civil War, if you go down the staircase in the back, what would be the main entrance of a cathedral, but is in fact the back entrance of this building, you'll see in the marble the names of City College students and faculty who perished in the Civil War. And there are similar remembrances scattered all around this building to people who've fallen in the Spanish-American War, in World War I, in the Spanish Civil War, in World War II, in Korea, in Vietnam. And I always thought it was a useful reminder that the making of this country and the sacrifices people make so that we can be what we are today and what we aspire to be in the future is remembered in this place. It shows that people who are becoming something different in their personal life are directly involved in the work of our nation becoming something different. So I don't know if we will have a similar plaque erected to those who we lost during this pandemic. But I think that without question, we are now in the midst of, hopefully, moving towards the tail end of one of the seminal struggles of our age. 100 years hence, when people tell the story of CUNY and City College and all the other colleges in the system, in these days, they'll tell the story of what we did to do two things. On the one hand, insofar as it is possible to keep our community safe, to protect the people who come here to study and to teach and to work and to make all of that possible. And the second thing, insofar as it has been possible, and it has been deeply and rewardingly possible, to continue the mission of the City University of New York, to make sure that on top of the physical casualties of the pandemic, we don't have the added casualty of the generations of students who would have graduated and studied in our institutions falling behind and maybe never catching up. That would have been a casualty almost as deep and bad as the people that have fallen. And so we're here not just, I think, to commemorate our dear friends and colleagues and comrades that we lost over the course of the pandemic, but to commemorate them in the context of their call to service, which is our call to service. And so I think it is utterly appropriate that we have this commemoration today in a building that is marked in so many of its quiet and secret and sacred spaces with a commemoration of others who have passed in the service of this nation. So it is my solemn duty to welcome all of you to the sacred center of City College on the near occasion of our anniversary, an anniversary that we all share by virtue of our membership in this great university. Welcome. Now, I believe I'd like to start the ceremony by asking for a moment of silence from all of us assembled to remember. Please rise. And we'll observe a minute of silence to remember our friends and colleagues. Okay, thank you. So we begin our ceremony with a candle lighting, and I'd like to call three of our executive leadership team to the front. Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operating Officer Hector Batista, Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost Dan Lemons, and Vice Chancellor for Communications and Marketing Maite Junko. It's now my great pleasure to invite to the podium the chairperson of our Board of Trustees, a man who has served the city and the state his entire life and continues to do so in his leadership of this university, Chairperson William C. Thompson.
Thank you, President Boudreau. Good morning, everyone. This is a solemn day for all of us. When you start, well, let me first, President Boudreau, our distinguished presidents, because there are many of our presidents and our deans who are here, so many of our leaders in CUNY, good morning to all of you. Let me start out with that. This is our day of remembrance, a CUNY Day of Remembrance, and there really are no words that can express the profound loss and sadness that we have all felt over the last 2 years. When you start to look just at numbers, and numbers mean things, 1 million Americans, 1 million Americans have lost their lives during this pandemic. 74 of them were part of the CUNY family. And when you start to think of it, it's almost unimaginable. They were our friends and our colleagues, our family, our faculty members, our students. We knew them. We engaged with them. They were friends, as we come together today, they were our and your loved ones. As we come together today, we come together as the family of CUNY, because that's who we are. CUNY isn't just a group of institutions, it's the people. It's the students, it's the spirit. It's what we've meant to this city, this state, this nation and world, to be honest about it. When you look around the world, around the nation, there are leaders from CUNY. There are students from CUNY. There are people who CUNY, they've touched their lives. So we are gathered together today as the family of CUNY to mourn, to come together, to find strength from each other. I came up and the first thing I did was to take my mask off. We're all sitting here, many of us in our masks. I was here 6 weeks ago without my mask on. Full room, none of us had our masks on. Well, things have changed again. Things continue to change, and we're not out of this yet. But at the same point, the one thing that we realize and recognize is through vaccines and treatments and others, this isn't what it was at the end of 19 or the beginning of 2020. But we're here to honor so many of those members of the CUNY family who aren't with us now. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, my colleagues, we hope that by gathering together today, we can pay tribute to the lives of those who've been lost and continue to provide strength and comfort to each other. Now, I'm going to introduce a person. When you talk about difficult times, Chancellor of the City of New York came here in May, if I remember, or not came here, but started as Chancellor in May of 2019. By the time we got to the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020, the world had changed. And he had to change along with that world and help to navigate the difficult times that we went through. I believe that he has done it admirably. He has showed calm and steady leadership and helped us all move forward. It's my pleasure to introduce the Chancellor of the City University of New York System, Chancellor Felix Matos Rodriguez.
Good morning, buenos dias. Thank you, Chair Thompson, for that introduction. Thank you, Vincent, President Boudreau, for welcoming us to this special place, not just for City College, but for the entire university. And thank you all for being here on these days of remembrance and reflection. 2 years ago, this building and nearly 300 others on CUNY's 25 campuses were empty and silent. We were socially distanced and adapting to remote learning and working. We finished the spring semester from our homes, and when it was time for the class of 2020 to graduate, commencements were held on this newish thing called Zoom. But for so many of us, the worst of it has been the shock and the grief that we felt at the terrible loss of people in our lives. In those early months of the pandemic especially, it seemed constant that we were learning from crushing news about members of our community who had fallen to this awful new virus. Faculty members who taught and mentored thousands of CUNY students and left their marks on their campuses and their fields of research. Students of every age with all kinds of backgrounds and all kinds of dreams. Staff members who were backbones to their campuses. We lost Professor William Henrich, one of the most beloved faculty members of this campus, 49 years at City College, a distinguished professor of sociology, best known for walking all the streets of New York and turning his urban adventures into a series of delightful books. We lost Alan Liu, the first Asian American appointed as a vice chancellor in CUNY's history, a graduate of City College, a great CUNY student whose death only a month after joining us from leaving his job at DC broke my heart. We lost unsung but dedicated members of our campus communities, people like Juliet Manra, a recruitment manager at Brooklyn College, remembered for her right sense of humor and passion for social causes. We lost Marilyn Chernin, a longtime leader of student life at Kingsborough Community College. We lost Reynard Rembert, a member of the Public Safety Department at Borough of Manhattan Community College, who was known for running the campus parking garage with his ever-present smile. And we lost Carol and Ed Keegan, who were members of the Options Program for Mature Learners at the College of Staten Island. They died 3 months apart after they both contracted COVID in the spring of 2020. By that summer, after 3 months when New York was the epicenter of the pandemic, CUNY had the grim distinction of having lost more people to the coronavirus than any other higher education system in the country. And still the deaths continue, even as the crisis spread across the country. We lost Peterson Napoleon, a political science major at Lehman College with a 3.8 GPA, who died in February of 2021 and was awarded his degree posthumously last spring. And in October, a year and a half into the pandemic, we lost one of our most celebrated alumni, Colin Powell, who graduated from this very campus in 1958 and remained closely engaged with his alma mater. We yearned to come together to memorialize their losses, but in-person gatherings were not possible. And so we decided to create a small committee from representatives from different offices and some colleges all across the system to think of ways we could acknowledge our losses and grieve as a community. I want to thank all the participants of that committee. We settled on a webpage, and the team worked diligently with respect and sensitivity to gather the names and reach out to the families. The In Memoriam page was launched in late June 2020, and it instantly filled a void, providing a meaningful forum for paying tributes and expressing our collective grief. Nearly 100,000 people have visited that page, and hundreds have left poignant messages for loved ones, co-workers, and friends. A message about Carmen Valle was a retired professor of Spanish and Latin American literature at City Tech, and one of her colleagues remember her as a truly bright star among us, a wonderful teacher, an extraordinary poet who colored our lives in the richest tones and was a dear friend to many. Carmen no va a poder enseñarle la belleza del español a ningún estudiante más. Carmen will not be able to share her passion and teach the wonderful Spanish language to any more of her students. Another colleague mentioned in the memorial, Arif Taklukar, was Bronx Community College's Assistant Director of Financial Aid. And one alum wrote that she and just about every student looked to him for help because, quote unquote, he knew everything there was to know, and I remember him once helping a student in their shared language. Ulises Castro of Lehman College Public Safety Department was a beloved mentor to younger colleagues. I will miss you, big brother, wrote one member in the memorial. Rest easy. On the In Memorial page, we have the names, some with photos and obituaries, of 24 staff members, 21 members of our faculty, and 12 students. There are certainly others that we don't know about or whose losses have not been officially attributed to COVID-19 or whose families prefer to mourn in private. 12 retired faculty and staff are on the page, but the true number is likely to be far higher. And we have lost untold numbers of alumni. So, to my mind, we are here today to remember all who have died during the pandemic, whether we know all their names or not, and to include in our thoughts the many members of our community who lost loved ones. CUNY students who lost parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles, employees who lost spouses and siblings. Nobody has been unscathed by this pandemic, and it is both too elusive and too soon to measure the full depth of its impact. 2 years in, the United States has passed a staggering and tragic milestone: 1 million deaths. In our eagerness to move forward and to get back to normal, though, it can be easy to look too quickly beyond where we have been. I think we are at a good moment to reflect on what we have learned from this experience and how it has changed every one of us. It is also a good time to acknowledge the heroic efforts of so many members of our community and to think about ways that we as individuals and as a university can continue to serve the public good in a time of emerging health threats. The pandemic has exposed fractures in our society and put a national spotlight on long-standing health inequities. These are things that we as a university have an obligation and a great opportunity to help to address and to improve. It goes to the heart of who we are. It's one way that we can pay tribute to those who we have lost and to make it part of their legacy. Many in our community rose to the occasion in this unprecedented crisis, from faculty, researchers, and public health experts who were on the front lines of the battle against COVID-19, to the countless essential workers who stayed on job through it all to keep our campuses safe. Many took on some of the most essential of tasks, ensuring our communities return to healthy environments when classes resume in person. Every one of them is a CUNY pandemic hero, and we should all be proud of them for the real difference they've made and they continue to make in our lives, and for the example that they have set. This has been a monumentally challenging time for all of us, and the pain of our losses will linger even as we continue the battle and adapt to new realities. We miss those we have lost, and we will always remember the many contributions to the City University of New York, along with the tragic circumstances of their untimely passing. I will also remember this year as a time when we engage our campus communities from a strange distance, even as we found ourselves pulled together by an unprecedented sense of purpose and a newfound fellowship. We found ourselves united and interconnected in our grief. We don't have to reach back too far now to summon these powerful feelings and emotions, and I believe that it is how it will remain. The memories of these many irreplaceable colleagues and friends we lost during this time will also stay with us, vivid and strong. Thank you for being here with us this morning. And now I would like to introduce a dear friend, a distinguished professor at Queens College and the assistant director of the MFA program in creative writing and literary translation at Queens College, our very lovely, wonderful, great university poet, Kimiko Han.
Thank you, Chancellor Matos Rodriguez. I decided to write a poem for this occasion, and in thinking about where to start, I thought of Elizabeth Barrett Browning's opening line of Sonnet 43. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I'm not going to lecture, don't worry. From there, I thought of all the people's lives, the little things that one could miss. I thought, how could we thank those who have died from COVID-19 in the past 3+ years? How could we remember them? So today, I offer this. How do we thank each of you? Let me count the ways. How do I thank you? Let me count the ways. Thank you. You bandaged my granddaughter's knee when she fell off her cousin's skateboard. Thank you. You responded to a 2-alarm fire, stewed ropa vieja for my birthday, grilled teriyaki for a New Year's Day feast, stirred a martini at the Irish bar in Forest Hills, and for my husband poured a double Jack Rocks. You gave me a warning and not a ticket for speeding, boosted me twice, checked my temperature, my blood pressure, my heart, my lungs, walked my terrier when I taught late nights, cleaned dusty rooms, shoveled the sidewalk, duplicated photographs, sold me a winning $1 scratch-off lottery ticket, packed the grocery bag I brought from home, gave me change, taped signs on an office door when the professor was running late, stopped traffic for an old stray dog, fed the elephant in the zoo, fed the shark in the aquarium. You rescued a kid from the branches of a tree. He was maybe 6. Didn't take movie tickets for months, and then you checked my vaccination card and greeted me back. Translated for your grandmother at the ER. Spared a dime in the 80s, and last year spared a $5, performed cartwheels on the F, apologized after plagiarizing a paper on Emily Dickinson, wrote an in-class poem about the uncle you lost at Tower North 9/11, stated your pronouns are they, them, stated your pronouns are she, her, suggested we state our pronouns, taught my neighbor neuroscience virtually, taught my neighbor's child statistics virtually, gave my neighbor her first job at the local pizza parlor, balanced a budget, delivered sushi, a gyro, steamed dumplings, worked overtime to fix a computer, asked a guy on the bus to please wear your mask, told me to choose a nail color for my fingernails, suggested Midnight Magic, left cans of fruit on the porch when I was quarantined, immigrated to flee tumult in your neighborhood and sold roses to my uncle, delivered a meal tray to my neighbor with a poem on it, a sonnet by Elizabeth Barrett Browning that opens with the line, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. You, and you died from the coronavirus in 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. It is my pleasure to introduce Deputy for Recruitment and Diversity for the City University of New York, Marianne McKenzie.
Thank you, and good morning. Good morning to my colleagues, to friends, but especially to family members. My name is Marianne McKenzie, and I know that I speak for all when I say it's a sad honor to be here today as we pay tribute to our wonderful CUNY colleagues who have passed due to COVID. You were all taken too soon. When I reflect and I think about what you would have become, possibilities that are now impossible, the phrase, you will be sorely missed, is an understatement. I'll do my best to do justice to our colleagues, though I continue to be in shock. This pandemic has shattered so many families in our CUNY community, too many mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, daughters and sons, wives and husbands, relatives, and so many friends. The CUNY workforce has experienced losses which impact all of us. So as we grieve together, we must also be mindful of our health, both physical and mental, during these pandemic times. Though I'm now in the central office, I was privileged to work on a campus for 10 years. It was a brilliant experience due to staff who worked to create a campus community. Collectively, they all made $1 out of 50 cents. The staff got it done and taught me so much in the process, and I'm talking about all our campus folks. Many frontline, student-facing, while others were back office, but all essential. Registrars who sorted out class programming. Academic staff who provided advisement for students and assisted departmental faculty. Campus safety who knew all our students. Custodians who maintained our indoor and outdoor spaces. Financial aid, bursars, facilities, IT specialists, many other units. And let's not forget HR who helped us all with dignity and worth. These are the people who have gone, and too soon. I look at your faces and I just want to cry. Yes, you will be forever in our hearts. With dedication, our staff created a beloved community throughout CUNY. Our community is now experiencing pain, agony, and total sadness. And though shattered, we are not broken. And on behalf of everyone, both in the room and virtually, to the families and colleagues, light and love, with hugs, hugs, hugs to all of you. We will continue to lift each other up with our presence, our care, compassion, kindness, and grace. To our departed CUNY colleagues, may you rest in peace. Thank you. Well, my next introduction is a real privilege because those who know me realize that I have tremendous affection for CUNY faculty. And so without further ado, CCNY's Professor Ann Kornheiser, Department Chair of History, and also a faculty member at the Grad Center.
Greetings. I'm here as a professor, but also here at City College, but also and mainly as a representative of the University Faculty Senate, which represents faculty across all of CUNY. As we have heard, the large and mounting death toll due directly and indirectly to the COVID pandemic can be hard to fathom. I won't repeat the numbers. We in New York City, and CUNY in particular, had our own unique reckoning with this insidious virus, which hit us like a blizzard in March of 2020. In response, CUNY wisely moved to remote learning, moving 270,000 students, 7,000 full-time faculty, more than 10,000 part-time faculty, and 13,000 full-time staff and administrators to a remote work environment in a matter of days, took a Herculean effort and caused challenges felt today and a fallout that will impact us all for years to come. Sadly, even with such efforts to reduce deaths, nothing could have been done to eliminate them. And today we honor the memory of those unfortunate members of the CUNY community who did not escape the clutches of this virus. At first, those whom the virus ravaged seemed arbitrary, maybe a little older, maybe with an underlying condition. But in the spring of 2020, the virus seemed to strike us all. I remember how quiet it got. A silence carpeted the city, much as it did after 9/11. Walking home from my office that last time, I felt estranged from the city I'd lived in for decades. But the sense of loss did not compare to what I soon experienced from the deaths of my CUNY colleagues and friends. These sudden losses, always too soon, were confusing, terrifying, heartbreaking. They left behind loved ones stunned, bereft, and unable to have contact with them. Especially at the beginning, we all lost not only colleagues, but friends with whom I had dinner, with whom I laughed, from whom I learned. Zoom memorials soon dotted our lives. Along with walks in the park, this was our social interaction in these early days. Except there was something else tremendously important. We had our classes. We had our students. We had the challenge of getting through a pandemic and learning at the same time. Faculty and students confronted this bewildering turn of events in ways that astound me to this day. Faculty taught each other. Students taught faculty. And we all did our best to hang on to this thread of continuity and our new virtual community. This unique and touching experience lives on with all of us, along with the spirits of those whom we honor today. Thank you. And now I would like to introduce someone special to my heart, even though I just met her downstairs, because she is a student at CUNY. She's a New York City College of Technology student, and her name is Giovanni Picon.
Good morning to distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and administration, and family members. It's a blessing to be before you here today. The last 2 years is not something that we can put into words, and we're still battling with the loss and changes that we're all facing. When we lose a loved one, it isn't something we ever get used to. It becomes a part of our everyday lives. But everyone who has left us with something. And they left us with a little bit of wisdom. As we look ahead into the horizon and tackle tomorrow's issues, remember the wisdom that was left behind. Throughout my time as student body president and CUNY trustee at a height of a global pandemic, it was the wisdom that people left that kept me going. One of my favorite quotes by Albert Pike reads, "What we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we have done for others and the world remains and is immortal." So today we remember, we honor, and we pay homage to those who contributed so much. As we move forward, we walk in their sense of voice and continue to be guided by their love. The C in CUNY may stand for city to you, but it stands for community to me. The CUNY community kept me lifted and going. On behalf of the students, we say thank you, but most importantly, we will persevere and continue to be CUNY strong. Up next, I would like to introduce President Eanes from York College and the daughter of late Bronx Community College Professor Thomas Brennan, Erin Brennan.
Grief and loss is a very hard part of life. And I believe that we as a community over this time have had to explore deeply our response, our feelings, our commitment to each other, our process. It will be with us for a very long time. But what I do know, as our students so wisely pointed out, we are CUNY strong, and we will continue to support each other. I am grateful for the opportunity to be with you and to recite the names of those that we have lost. Thank you. From York College, Samuel Borenstein,
Paul Klein,
Rashimi Christian,
Luis Diaz,
William Tao DeBallo,
David Ernst,
Samuel Morrison,
Yves Roseas,
James Smith,
Ralph Steinberg,
Jay Utandi. From Borough of Manhattan Community College, Thomas Burgee.
Reynard Rembert,
From our central office, Alan Liu. From City College of New York, Daniel Padevo Gulak,
Gail Slatter,
Leonard Trugman.
Michael Sorkin,
The City College of New York and Graduate Center, Ray Hubler.
William Helmreich,
Bronx Community College, Jamie De La Hose,
Jorge Zambran,
Arif Tulakdar,
and my father, Thomas Brennan, who loved serving his community in the Bronx and adored his students. We miss you every day. We will continue to carry your legacy forward. We love you forever, Dad.
And next, I will introduce President Anderson and Giovanni Picai.
The COVID-19 pandemic has robbed the CUNY community of many beloved people. These losses brought sorrow and emptiness to our hearts, and I want to extend my deepest condolences to the loved ones of each person listed today. From Brooklyn College, Moshe Augenstein,
Kenneth Axon,
Mark Blum,
Peter Broncazio,
Jay Jankelwitz,
Juliet Mengrog,
Jeffrey Palmer,
James Jim Pletcher,
Paul Sheldon,
Aaron Tenenbaum,
from both Brooklyn College and the Graduate Center, William Gertz. From the College of Staten Island, Sonia Alexander,
Rebecca Hacia,
Carol Keegan,
Ed Keegan,
Debbie Mahoney,
Diane Kinsey,
Robert Solfray. From the Graduate Center, Anita Crumpton.
Jennifer Steenshorn,
From Ostos Community College, James Luhan. From Hunter College, Ella Chu.
James Harrison,
From John Jay College of Criminal Justice, Giovanni Daly.
Donald Hoffman,
I'd like to introduce now Glenda Grace and Salimatu Tuyumboyo.
it's Dumbuya,
Thank you. Why don't you say the name?
Salamatu Dumbuya.
Thank you.
We will also, at the end of the reading of the names, ask those to come up with candles to remember everyone we remember. From Kingsborough Community College, Ibrahim Ba,
Marilyn Charmanin,
Juan Rivera.
Andrew Ventura,
From Lehman College, Ulysses Castro,
Patterson Napoleon,
Lennon Portillo.
Clinton Washington,
From Medgar Evers College, Dennis Matthew Fox. From New York City College of Technology, Maria Barrios,
Asbert da Silva,
Georgiana Gloss,
Melody Reed,
Darlene H. Salter,
Angel Torres,
Carmen Valle. From Queens College, Marianne B. Cooper.
Joseph Brostek,
From Queensborough Community College, Joseph Bertabrelli.
Frankie D. Mattox,
From Jose Chupoyello. Now we call family, friends, and members of the CUNY community to the stage to complete the candlelight ceremony. as the ceremony showed us, there's a role for all of us in remembering the memory of someone, all that they've done, but there's also a role for us to carry on their legacy. And we trust that as a community, we will do this. It is now my pleasure to introduce Lee Bordros, singer, songwriter, and alumna of Lehman College, who will bring us a rendition of My Heart Will Go On in honor of all that we've lost.
Thank you very much. Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel you. That is how I know you go on. Far across the distance and spaces between us, you have come to show you go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, you open the door, and you'll hear in my heart will go on and on. Love can touch us one time and last for a lifetime, and never let go till you're gone. Love was when I loved you one true time. I hold to in my life will always go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, you open the door, and you'll hear in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. Thank you. Up next, we have Pigeon Wind Dance, the Carpet Series, a project that started during the 2020 COVID lockdown by choreographer Gabrielle Lam. This special performance is brought to you by the CUNY Dance Initiative, which is a transformative incubator that leverages CUNY resources to support emerging artists of diverse cultural backgrounds, while enriching cultural experiences for students in each partner campus community. Enjoy.
We come now to the end of our program. I'd like to thank all of the participants who honor us with your presence here today, and honor those who've lost as a result of the COVID pandemic. Thank you, Professor Quibiko Han, for your beautiful words and poetry. Thank you, Lee Burgos, for your beautiful voice and inspiration. And thank you to the dancers from the CUNY Dance Initiative for that powerful rendition to sort of bring us up to a close today. As you know, efforts like this take the hard work of many of us. I want to thank initially that group of members from all across a university community that were led by Vice Chancellor Dorian Gloria in HR and Vice Chancellor Maite Junco from Communications in guiding us in putting the memorial page as we were trying to navigate how to express respect, how to express our condolences, how to show love at a time where we really couldn't come together. I also want to thank the many presidents and deans. I know that in many of our campuses we've held individual ceremonies to commemorate those that we have lost, and we honor that those ceremonies that we've had all across our campuses. And then to put this final event together, I want to give a big shout out to Dolly Martinez, Felix Vargas, and all the team in the President's office for all their hard work. Vice Chancellor Maite Junco, Monica Tavares, the entire communications team for their efforts too, and the team under Vice Chancellor Dorian Gloria in HR. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to President Boudreaux and the City College family for allowing us to be in this inspirational space here as we close the semester. The ceremony was live streamed. We know that it's a difficult time as we close the semester in our campuses for folks to come, so it's going to be online for us to continue to share and to celebrate. That ends our program today. Again, thank you so much for being here, and we can continue sort of sharing in fellowship with some refreshments that we have in the back for all of us. So thank you again, and thank you for being with us.